Freedom's greetings, Helldivers. Ervin here again, bringing you all that we know about the Meridia anomaly and what you can expect to be coming soon to Helldivers 2. Some unsettling news came in today regarding Meridia as all of the supply lines leading towards the black hole have been vanishing one by one for the last few days. And finally, today, the last one has disappeared, locking off Helldivers from traveling to the once booming tourist attraction. This was followed by a travel advisory warning stating that the gravitational disturbances have made travel to the Meridia singularity unadvisable, and that it would be off limits to visitors and tourists for the foreseeable future, forcing many superfamilies across the galaxy to reschedule their vacation plans.
Alert! Alert! Initiating FTL jump to Super Earth.
So, why is this happening, and what does it mean for the future of the Helldivers? The Ministry of Science has long since concluded that the Illuminate Vanguard is entering our galaxy through the Meridia anomaly, likely utilizing their advanced cloaking technology to enter our galaxy and attack our colonies from seemingly nowhere. And they've been doing this for several months now, ever since the initial invasion during the 2024 Game Awards. Calamari is back on the menu. LibCon 1, Planet Calypso under attack. All Helldivers ordered to Calypso immediately. Illuminate signatures reported. During the initial attacks, it became apparent the Illuminates had two purposes: abducting our citizens to turn into voteless, mindless abominations, and less obviously, stealing vast quantities of our E710 fuel. If you recall, it was around this time that the Helldivers had just finished up a significant campaign against the Jet Brigade, in which we were tasked with farming massive quantities of E710 to get the Democracy Space Station online. This is relevant because when you consider where we'd likely have stored all this excess fuel, it stands to reason it would either be kept in the immediate vicinity or even on Super Earth itself, or, what is more likely the case given the circumstances, the fuel was being kept in the southeastern quarter of the galaxy, far away from either of the current war fronts for safekeeping, exactly where the Illuminate began their hit and run attacks. We even saw evidence that this was likely the case when fighting off these initial invasions on our colonies, where pipelines of E710 had been broken open by the Illuminate. It also stands to reason that the Illuminate used this fuel just as we do, considering in the original storyline of Helldivers 1, the Illuminates were the faction that originally introduced humanity to faster than light travel in the first place. So between the theft of our E710, Arrowhead outright referring to this as a vanguard force, and the countless leaks of many other Illuminate enemy models and attacks, we have always had every reason to believe a full-scale invasion similar to what we saw from the automatons following Operation Swift Disassembly was on the way. And given the evidence, it would seem this event is likely very close at hand. Now, recently, an intel report appeared in game informing us that multiple astronomical monitoring stations have reported unexplained space time fluctuations, which have been positively correlated with Illuminate activity. The Ministry of Defense then began tracking the fluctuations and began displaying them on your galactic map. But there was no explanation as to what exactly this meant. Until the real Ministry of Science got to work and figured out what the fluctuations all correlate to: a hidden API with a maximum value of 1 million. 1 million also being the maximum life value of a planet in Helldivers 2 when it comes to campaigns. After analyzing the data, the Ministry of Science was able to determine that this API was increasing when more Illuminate invasions were active and going down when there was one or less. But that isn't all. As this value increased, the Meridian anomaly lost supply lines one by one, until today when they were removed entirely. So when we combine all of the evidence, it paints a pretty clear picture. Not only are the fluctuations directly linked to Meridia and the Illuminate's activity on the galactic map, but it's also a countdown to the beginning of the invasion force entering our galaxy through the black hole. An invasion force that will almost certainly include the missing units from the Illuminate roster that were previously leaked, such as their elders and ghouls sweeping over the southeastern quarter of the galaxy in a wave of terror not seen since Swift Disassembly's conclusion, fueled by our own E710. But when is the invasion arriving? That is the last question we have to answer. The way the API and correlated gravitational anomaly is moving following the disappearances of the supply lines currently seems to sync up with a very special day for Helldivers 2, February 8th, the anniversary of the game. It's for all of these reasons the Ministry of Truth, which has never been wrong before, currently believes the invasion is set to begin this coming Saturday, following what will hopefully be a war bond announcement on Tuesday. But it wouldn't be surprising if they held off on the war bond announcement to sync up with the Illuminated invasion for bonus hype. I also cannot tell you how disappointed I was that the stealth war bond was faked. I knew it was fake pretty much immediately, having done more than, 30 seconds of research on the subject. But the fact they used the stealth bond to fake it, that made me sad. And on the topic of leaks, it's important to keep in mind that Arrowhead no longer leaks anything more than a few days in advance, and hasn't leaked any new information since the initial Illuminate invasion and Killzone collab leaks. So if you see some content on the platform more than a month out from the latest update, odds are pretty solid you're being baited into hearing about the cowboy weapons for the seventh time. That all being said, nothing is carved in stone. Joel could at any moment intervene and manipulate the gravitational anomaly behind the scenes. After all, we're not supposed to see it or have any idea what the API means. So keep your hand on the pulse of Helldivers 2 this week because there is almost certainly something big coming up. And if it truly is the full scale Illuminate invasion, this will mark the beginning of the end. We've known from the beginning the intention is for the Galactic campaign to truly have an ending and a win condition. But with the third faction outside of the game, it never would have made any sense for us to win. Following the Meridian invasion force, though, all the enemy factions will be in full force on the Galactic campaign. This will be the first moment in the game's history it will make sense for our actions to actually be moving towards a real conclusion for the game, which, in my opinion, will make it the most exciting time period to be playing Helldivers 2. That's going to be it for me today, though. Hopefully, these events do come to pass, and I see you all again very soon as we fight off the invasion together. Thank you to my coffee supporters who help keep the channel going, and thank you for watching till the end. I'll see you next time.
Protect us!
Don't you give me orders.